Okay, it's our turn. Remember, we can't activate these pink dudes because they went last time. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate blue. We're gonna do them. And that's 2 command points. And let's see what we can do. I don't like this armor, so let's take him out. I think I'm stuck here. That's all the more I can move forward. This one, however, can move 3, so I can go 1, 2. He's gonna have 1 retreat spot, so we're not gonna have him fully surrounded. But I still like it, because we're flanking him. Yeah, I like it because we're flanking him. And so I don't know, you know, what, how it's going to turn out or what's going to happen here, but I'm just trying to think, is there a way I could surround him? And I don't think there is. So I'm trying to also decide, am I going to try to give them a command? Okay, so like, I have this 6th Army card, which I'm not planning on playing because all I'm going to end up doing is just undisrupting my units, right? I mean, there is one spot on the board I could attack, but I'm not sure I want to. Oh, you know what? I can actually get some units surrounded. Crap. I was planning on playing this card and doing any tactic. And what I was going to do with you guys is try to figure out which one we were going to do. And I was actually going to add air power. Just because I never get to do air power. So maybe, you know, we'd get some nice hits with that. But I actually think I'm going to activate them. So I'm going to leave it be. And so with me leaving it be, we're just going to go ahead and do the attack then. It's a 2-chit minimum. And we're going to draw 1, 2, 3 for being elite, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's 1 short of the large. But that's all I can do. Unless I play a combat tactic. I don't think I want to. So here's the 2 minimum. All right, we got to figure out. Oh, we got to draw his card. Never mind. 1 second. Okay, it is not his core. Oh, he's doing bug out. Oh. Okay, we got to do bug out. So bug out. Prior to combat resolution, if the odds are greater than 3 to 1, he's going to do a hold check roll. So his strength is 4, so we would need 12. 3, 4, 7, 10, 12. We had exactly, no. Yeah, 3 to 1. That's right. So he's going to do a bug out check. And the bug out check is relatively simple. It's the same check you would do whenever you're applying hits. So in the player aid here, when you're applying hits, see that D there? Calculate the hold chance. We're going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to be reading that to you while you're looking at it. So first thing we're going to do is a hold value of the hex, which is a 3. Then 2 steps for him is 5. Nobody's across a river. He's not surrounded. Retreat would not require a step loss. And he has not already retreated. So what did I say he was? It was just a 5. So we're going to roll a die wherever my dice went. Here it is. So I rolled a 4. So he's not retreating. So that means we're going to conduct the attack, okay? So that's what's going to happen here. All right, so we do the attack. So we determined it was 4-1, so this one doesn't apply. Defender is not recon. There's no combat engineer. So we did 2 and nothing happened, so now we're going to do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are flanking him. Yep. We're greater than 2-1. The defender is not green. The defender is not elite. It is not a large attack. There's no allied air power. So we did 2 hits to him, which is just going to result in 2, well, it's going to result in 1 retreat to here. And then he's going to do a roll, 1 plus 2, and then he already did 1 retreat. So he adds 2 more. So that's a 5. I rolled a 9, so he's going to retreat again to there, and then he's disrupted. Okay, so we get to do a double advance. So the nice thing is we get to pound through. This one would advance like so, and there is no checks for roadblock here or here because there's units next to it, and no check here because he's next to it. So no roadblock checks, folks, with that. And so this one I am not advancing. I'm leaving him here because I want to get behind this sucker. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. What's interesting is I can't go any more north than this. Watch me forget that at some point. I could take these units and move them to here and put pressure on this disrupted unit up here. There's a part of me that wonders if maybe I should do that. I mean, I would love to take this guy out, but if the yellow core is not getting through, then the least I can do is put pressure up there with the blue core. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Now, if I deviate from this, I can't go into someone's zone of control. Never mind. The 2 hex advance doesn't let me go into his zone of control unless it's along the retreat path. So, nope, I'm staying right here. So that's what's gonna happen. Okay, so that wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. So now we're gonna do the 6th Panzer Army. I'm gonna activate them. And I'm gonna activate the yellow corps, which is the 1st SS Panzer Division. And here's what I'm gonna do. This obviously was a failed attack. I don't wanna do it again. So I'm just gonna remove disruption markers here, 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 and here. And then this guy is gonna move out and in to Billingen. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna put him in surround and we're gonna put pressure on everybody. And we did find a fuel token. So we got a yes. So that part's good. That's all I can do, folks. I could, this is a 2 movement points. So for 2 movement points, I'm gonna come out and come in like this, but I'm not gonna do that because these units are already south, so they'll come in and put pressure from the south. So we're gonna put the recon out of supply, and everybody else I can't do anything with. Technically speaking, this one is still disrupted, although it's not gonna matter. Okay, so that was an exciting nothing. So let's go with them. So now the 8th Corps, deploy the 101st and 9th Armor Division Reserves. There's nobody to deploy. So then we move to activate the 101st or the 9th Armor. Well, The 9th armor is here, and there's only one of them on the map. But that's not a shattered core situation, so would he activate is the question. So in order for him to activate, is he wandering behind enemy lines? No. Is he in danger of surround? No. Is he out of contact? No. Is he dispersed? No. Is he eligible for an improvement position? He's in a town. No. So he does not activate. So then he does the event Artillery Barrage, which I think sucks. I actually would have preferred that he activated. I think Artillery Barrage is like a guaranteed hit on somebody. Oh, discard a German division card from your hand. Oh, a division card. Oh, it's a division card. Look, I have no division cards. These are both, this is an army card and a corps card. The division cards, just to refresh your memory, that's a division card. Okay? So, nothing happens. Oh, awesome sauce. Okay, so it's our turn, and we're going to do 7th Army. I think we're going to do 7th Army. Let me think about this. You know, it's really funny. By moving this guy one spot up north, like this, I can't do a camp group in such a way that I can get this guy activated. I have to move my camp group one further north to get him in all, which is no different than just doing a pink command, which is what this is. So, do I really want to do 3 more impulses just so I can do this? You know what? Fine. I'm going to do... I'm just going to activate the pink core, and then I'll probably play this card to add a combat tactic. I just don't know which one yet. It might be reinforced battle. Let's see if I can pull that off. No, I can't. All right, so in doing so, this guy would move up. I can actually go 1, 2, 3 and get behind him, because he can go through woods for just 1 movement point. So that was slick, and that's what you need to do in this game. So even if we don't win, he's going to be out of supply. So I may not even want to do an attack, but I'm going to go ahead and try it. So then what combat tactic do I want to do? So I can do the air power. I can do Panzer Battalion. That gives us armor. And it adds 1 to our combat strength. So let's see what that turns out to look like. This is 5, 8, 11, but it's divided by 2. So that's a 6 plus 3 is 9. So this is 3 to 1 odds. And going up to a 10 doesn't help me. If I did a reinforced battle, there's nobody who can reinforce. Well, actually there is. I can have this guy here come down like this, but then this guy's no longer surrounded. So I'm sort of screwed. Could I have them help? Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see. These guys I can't move because I would lose surround. These ones have 5 movement points though. So if I did 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, I can't go below this line. Oh, I can't help. I can't help. These guys are on their own, so reinforced battle does not work. I could also do press the attack, which would press the attack would add another combat chit. I don't know. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't need to do infantry infiltration. We got him. He's in a town, so we can't flank him. You know what? I'm going to do... We're going to do air power. Screw it. Let's try it. Okay, so he's going to do a 2-chit minimum. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5th one for the pips. Sorry for the wobbliness there. So 2 to 5, and I think we already established that we're 3 to 1. So we're going to draw the 2-chit minimum. And defender artillery, no, oh, we got to draw a card for him. That is not his core. He wants reinforced battle, but there's no one that's going to reinforce him. So if you look up the definition of reinforced battle, they have to preserve the line and protect VP hacks, okay? So if you look at the situation here, this guy could spend 1, 2, 3, 4, well, maybe let's say he was able to move here to help, he won't because he wouldn't be preserving the line anymore. And there's no reinforcements down here, so he's on his own. So nothing's happening there, and the artillery is not happening. I should have picked artillery. Never mind, I should have picked air power. There we go, we got one. If I would have picked artillery, that would have been the same result. But there we go. He took 1 hit. And we're going to draw 3 more. And 1, 2, 3. The attacker is green. That part hurts. So we take a hit. Only defender combined arms. If we would have done the tank battalion, that would have helped. We are greater than 1.5 to 1. So looks like we're taking 2 hits and he's taking 2 hits. So how do we want to do this? Well, one of the hits is for sure going to be this guy. Well, actually, he doesn't even become non-green. And then one of the hits will be one of these guys. So I am going to take the hits. I'm not going to... Now, he takes 2 hits. The first one forces him to retreat. But remember, we got him surrounded. So he's going to follow his retreat path to here, but he takes a damage because he's still in our zone of control. So that part's awesome. Now he takes 1 more hit. And the problem is he only has 1 pip. So that's a required retreat. So he's going to retreat to here and then be disrupted, which doesn't do a lick of good because we're done. We have no cards left in our hand. Now I can then move. So this guy can move across this hex side, and then this guy can move across that hex side. Now this one has to stay because the bridge is broken and only one at a time can go across. But I at least got 2 of them across this river. Now this guy could move in, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just leave him here. And I think what I'm going to try to do is, I guess we can just take these 2 spots on him. I was going to say I was going to try to move this way, see if I can get some pressure on Edelbrook here. Unfortunately, we're out of turns. So they get to go, and then we're going to be done with December 17th. I think that was a successful attack. We at least pushed them across the river. And the fact that we made the 101st delayed, there's no reinforcements down here, folks. I mean, this guy's got reinforcements over here. But I think we're going to have a real good shot at destroying the South. Anyways, let's do their final action. It is going to be the 8th Corps, and they're going to try to deploy. They have nobody to deploy. And then they're going to try to expedite the Corps reserves. So that means that those guys would have deployed to the map right now. But there's nobody there, neener, neener, because we pushed them. So there you go. I hope you're appreciating this. The expedite Corps means that whoever was here was going to move to the reserve unit box, But since I had less than 2 cards in my draw pile, they were going to deploy directly to the map right now from tomorrow's units. But since I played that, whatever that card was, I caused them to get delayed to the 19th, so they're not in this pile. So Expedite Core does absolutely nothing. Okay, so then they're going to activate units in the core. They will activate because this guy's surrounded. So, and this one's disrupted. If there's a unit disrupted, they always activate, because one of the things you get to do is remove your disruption. So they are for sure going to activate. So let's, and then they would have, if they didn't do that, they were going to raise the alarm, whatever that is. But they're going to activate. So let's draw the 3 cards. And if that causes this guy to get out of being surrounded, I'm going to be upset. But it probably will, because that's all these cards do. Okay, so the first one is fill the gap. And I can tell you they're not going to do it. This guy has nowhere he can move, all right? He doesn't have movement points because he's surrounded. You can't violate zone of control. This guy is not in danger of, or he's holding the gap right now of his own, and this one's holding his own gap. So the Germans are not proximate to this spot. There's no German unit that can move here. He is you could theoretically argue that he would move to this spot to hold the gap, which is true, except I can't move there. There's no German unit that has movement points that can get there. So that's, no one's doing fill the gap. Move. If you're not adjacent to a supplied German unit, move. He's adjacent, he's disrupted, so he can't, actually, that's the other thing. When you're disrupted, you don't do any of these commands. So no one's moving, because they're all adjacent. Okay? Now, I know you might be thinking these are boring. There's a whole stack of allied offensive action cards that are not going to be boring. And just like I said, these early turns, you need to make your move early, because later they're going to come, and they're going to come hard, and the allies have more resources than you. And let me just tell you, it's going to be a slugfest in a few days here. So you got to take advantage of these early days. And the fact that they're just, doing nothing but digging in and stuff like that, those days are numbered, because some of these cards are even going to be removed from the deck as we move on. And then this is the one I was not looking for. If the unit is surrounded, well, that's this guy. So something's going to happen here. It's going to move to a hex in allied communication, ignoring German zone of control in the first hex entered. So this one and this one are both in allied communication. So well, are they? Yeah, because this one can just go this way. All right, but the thing is so here's the beautiful part. This gets destroyed when he moves. So that's nice. He wants to move this way, so he's going to move the direction that's closest to this withdrawal direction, which is here. He gets to ignore zone of control to do that first move. So unfortunately, our surround tactic backfired. But remember I told you I wanted him out of the forest, and he's going to get out of the forest here, because here he's still, is he in threat of being surrounded here? The answer is yes, because he has no zone of control, so we can just right around him, okay? So he is in threat of being surrounded. So he's going to keep moving until he's not surrounded, following his withdrawal direction or allied supply. Well, he's in allied supply right now, so we don't have to worry about that. So he's going to move, this cost him 2 movement points, by the way, to go through the forest. And so he only gets 1 more move, so he's going to move to this town. And he's still in threat of being surrounded, because we can just go around him without his... Oh, never mind. When a bracketed unit is in a town, they exert zone of control. I forgot about that. Yeah, So this is actually the perfect thing for him. So by moving to here, he now exerts zone of control all around him. So he will not be, we will not be able to surround him. And he's going to be able to absorb a hit because the town always cancels one hit. But let me tell you, this is not a forest. I already like my odds better with him there than when he was there. And this was over a bridge, which is even worse. Okay, the other good thing is he's sort of in a worthless spot, so we can just sort of go around him. We don't need to go through that. Edelbrook is something we would like to maybe pinch, but he's in a worthless spot. But anyways, he did his move, and then this guy is going to remove his disruption marker. And then this guy would dig in if he could, but he's in a town, so he's not going to. So that's the activation for them. And that brings us to the end of December 17th. December 20th, I believe, is when we can stop worrying about our little squigglies. So this division here could swing south and take Edelbrook on December 20th, but right now, they can't go south of this line. So their best shot is, as you may have guessed, their best shot is to keep pressing forward and take Bastogne, which is a wonderful spot. And this guy, who cares? I mean, just leave him there. But the problem is with this guy being here, when that 101st Airborne does come out, they're all going to land within 3 spaces of him. So he's going to actually provide them a reason to reinforce here. If we destroyed this unit, then the 101st Airborne has to reinforce way down here because they have to be within 3 spaces of their own core. So there is an advantage to taking this thing out. And we got another day to take them out before we have to worry about it. So we're at the end of the day. This goes back into the cup. So do all of these. And all disruption markers go away. Any out of fuel markers would as well. Don't confuse out of fuel with low supply. Those are 2 different things. Okay. So now it's the 18th. So 2 more cards are being added for the 18th. The Hodges 1st Army and Airborne Corps. And let's get this shuffled. Oh, sleeping these cards was such a wonderful thing. Okay, so these cards are just going to shuffle. I don't think anything's happening yet here. There's a few of these that say like remove on December 22nd. I tend to, like when you just pull them, like if you were to just draw them, then remove them, because going through the whole deck and figuring out which ones get removed, it's probably not worth your time. Now, when do those action cards get added? I know it's hard for you to read, but this text here says you add 2 cards every day starting on December 19th. So we're on December 18th. So 1 more day of them just digging in and retreating and all that stuff. And then they're going to start adding combat cards slowly over time. And pretty soon you're going to be seeing nothing but combat cards. Okay, so that's the case there. Then we come over here. And these come down. Those stay there. Do not do anything with them. On the 18th, nothing gets reinforced for us. And then we have to look. On the 18th, supplemental cards is still 7. Command level is still 4. Delayed reserves is kicking in. We'll explain that. And as soon as I'm done with these cards, in fact. And technically speaking, we were supposed to do the reserves before I do these cards. So I will do that first, and then we'll finish doing our cards. Allied Deployment Method B is now in place. And you're going to find that this is going to mean that those reserves are going to happen almost every time now. Because if A fails, B almost never fails. So if we ever have to deploy allies, they're going to deploy. They'll scatter all across the map and they'll do all kinds of wonky things, but they're going to start deploying in force now. Allied out of contact unit deployment. I've never triggered this yet, but if there's an allied unit that's out of contact, but also not adjacent to a German unit, you could actually just take it off the map and redeploy it somewhere else. It's sort of like since they're out of contact with, well, actually, no, I have triggered this before. Out of contact is if they're out of contact with you. So, this guy right here, let's say he was down here, okay? He is out of proximity for any of our units. I mean, we can go look up the official terminology, but he would be considered out of contact. And that means this is the last known spot of him, but he could have been secretly moving somewhere else. So the game handles this by redeploying him somewhere else, and then boom, he would just show up on another part of the map. But out of contact is not out of communication. That's a different thing. And I got confused there myself when I was reading it to you. So now you're going to see if there's a unit that's out of contact, because let's say we ignored him and just kept pushing to Bastogne, he would eventually become out of contact, and then we could just pick him up and boom, he could reinforce somewhere else. And then if they take the west wall, the Allies do, we lose 5 victory points. So we got to be really careful. I mean, if those guys ever try to push across the river, we could lose points. But I don't think there's any ally on the west wall right now, so we don't have to worry about that at the moment. So, delayed reserves is kicking in. So here's what we do. First thing we do is we take the reserve stack, like we always have, and this is the 18th, if you may recall. I'm sorry, the 30th Corps. So I'm just going to put them there, and then this is the 82nd. You can see there's a whole bunch from this 18th Corps that has not deployed, and then 2 more from the 10th Armor there. So they got a lot of units stacked up there. Now we get one as well, the Furbog. I don't know what it is, but that's what I call it. He's pretty powerful, 7 strength. He's pretty badass. He's got 3 pips. And he goes there. Okay, now, the delayed reserves rule is, today is December 18th. This is December 16th. See that? We get to deploy this for free right now. That's all that means. So if there's anything that's in here that's 2 days old, we get to deploy it. I don't think that's true for the Allies. Let me double check. I think this is a rule that only helps us. Yes, it specifically says German reserves. Right there, deployed, delayed by 2 days, German reserves. So this guy gets to deploy, and the rule is he has to be on a road in our core area, which with this being from the 1st SS, that means it's going to be up north there, on a road, and then he has to be at least 3 spaces away from an Allied unit or town. So, for example, I can put him, 1, 2, 3, like that, if that's what I wanted to do. I think I'm going to put him here. Yeah, that works. I could also put him there and try to help the north there. I honestly don't know what the right call is. This is only 2 in a stack, isn't it? Here. Okay. So that's a free deployment, so we didn't have to spend a card to deploy that unit. And so here's been my thoughts with this. It's really painful to spend a whole command card just to deploy 1 unit. The only thing that would work is if you did the Army Group Model card, because that lets you deploy all of your reserve units, but still, there was only 2 units in that reserve box at the time. That wasn't worth it. And now we're back to only 2 in the reserve box again. Still not worth it. Although you can see there's a nice tank to help the 30th Corps there. And that tank for the Purple Division is quite awesome. Don't get me wrong there. I might spend a low division card to deploy that. But we'll just see if we can take advantage of that. Okay, so back to this. This was not supposed to be in the primary. Always make sure that they say primary on them. All right, we get to draw 7. 1, 2, oh, I forgot to shuffle. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So 3 cards left. And then the supplemental cards just get put back over top. And then we take these and shuffle. So remember, when we're planning our strategy, we know we're always going to get a primary card. And there's one primary card for every division color out there. So I know there's going to be a primary for here, primary for here, primary for there. So every division is going to be able to activate at least once. It's the supplemental cards that they're going to be the surprise to you. And so if you, for example, get a supplemental card that lets you activate the yellow division, then you know you're going to get a primary that also activates the yellow. That's a guarantee. So I can't say that I'm super thoughtful there. And I know that one of the strategies somebody posted online is you need to take advantage of reinforced battle and assault coordination and use that to win your battles. You know, most of the time, I don't even have those cards available to me. But with that being said, I think I've played this game quite well, except for up north. That's the only place that hasn't gone well. And we've taken a lot of damage up north, which means that those units are becoming ineffective. But it is what it is. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we got to do supply checks. All right, so the Germans cannot be out of supply, but the Allies can. Okay, starting from the south here, I assure you all of these are in supply because they can all trace a road that goes somewhere to the south or to the west. Coming up here, everybody else is also in supply. And von der Heide is not in supply. I cannot draw, I can go 1, 2, but I can't go here because of him. But the good news is von der Heide doesn't lose supply until December 19th. So he keeps this marker, yes, he doesn't get to lose the marker, but the marker doesn't degrade and get worse. Now, this unit can place supply. So well, maybe they can. Let's find out. So where can supply go? See, I have zone of control on this space. So I cut off supply on this road. The only place that can go west or north is here, okay? This road is cut off from supply. So is this road, okay? So if they make it to this road, they can't go this way either because this guy has cut off supply going this way or this way. So I'm starting to realize right now, and only right now, that we just did a brilliant move in the last impulse. Okay, so starting with this guy. Well, let's start with this guy. He can go 1, 2 and get to this road, which can easily get wherever he needs to go. And just to zoom out here, I mean, if you make it to this road, you can see there's easily paths that go off the northern edge of the map. Okay, just a refresher, the west wall divides the north and south edge of the map. So anything to the left of the west wall is Allied supply. Anything to the right is German. So if the Ally can take a road off the northern edge, that's good enough. So this guy has supply. And this guy also will, because he can just go up 1 to here and then to 3. Okay? So these two have supply. But now we get to this guy. He can go here for 1, 2, 3, 4. So he made it 2. This one's fine. This one can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and he makes it. Okay? But now we get to this one, and he's in a pickle. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, So, see, even my clock agrees. So, we have a joyous day where he's out of supply, just like Oprah. Out of supply for you, out of supply for you, and out of supply for you. And they're actually low supply. They're not out of supply, but the good news is they're in trouble. They're in massive trouble. And I did not realize that I was going to get 4 of them, but I did, and that is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And special thanks to, I think it was Sir Brasius that told me about this spot for the Vonderheit. And sure enough, that is a wonderful spot because he is cutting off their ability to go here and then just go north. So were it not for the Vonderheit, it wouldn't have happened. I'm actually not even sure that me cutting off this one made a difference. But actually it did make a difference because they could have easily hit this road here and then gone west that way. So yes, I needed both. But we just cut off 4, and this is more than 4 units. There's 2 units here and 2 units there, I think. No, there's only 2 units in this one. But anyways, that's 5 units that we just put low in supply. Okay, so what happens when they're low in supply? I have to remind myself, I don't remember. It's on the player aid, so it's real easy to find. So if they're in combat, they're not allowed to draw a card for a combat tactic. I think they would still draw a card for undetected defender. I'd have to check. Undetected defender might require them to not be surrounded or something. I don't know. But they don't get combat tactics. They may not exit the map, and they're not allowed to lead in an attack, which they're not going to do anyways. At least not on December 18th. And then, so let's say we go through this whole day, and then we get to the 19th, and they still haven't found relief. Well, then they would degrade to out of supply, and then they get all of these effects and then more. And then eventually they become isolated, where they don't even have zone of control, and then they can start surrendering. So the one thing I can tell you is if they become isolated, if attacked, the enemy attacker draws 2 extra combat chits, and we disregard all attacker hits. So we can't even get hit anymore when it's this. When they're out of supply, we get to draw 1 extra combat chit, and we get to disregard 1 hit. So you can see that there's some huge advantages if we can get them to degrade just a little bit more. So then the question becomes, do we attack them now or do we wait? And I think that's just going to be based on whatever cards we draw. The yellow units, as you may recall, have taken a lot of hits. So we may not be able to do much other than just wait them out. Being able to take out all those units would be nice. But so let me just say something. If we draw a command card that activates that core is going to very likely get a withdraw under fire card that, you know, if you're surrounded or whatever, blah, 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 or out of supply, they're going to start getting bonuses to retreat. And so they'll be able to move through zone of control. So it's going to be really hard to just, they're not going to just sit there, is what I'm trying to say. So it's really hard to just take the, medieval approach of, okay, we're going to just siege the castle until they starve. Not very easy to do. Okay, so I think that concludes the supply phase, a very successful one. And let's get cracking. Let's look at our cards, see what's going to happen on our turn here. All right, we got the 5th Panzer Army. That is an exciting card. Although my 5th Panzer has been separated quite a bit here. We have the Pink Corps, which is actually making some progress. So they're no longer pushovers. We do have the yellow 1st SS Corps. So far we got a lot of great ones. We got cannon fodder here. These guys, I may end up just using them for the combat tactic. And then we got the red units way up north, which I may also just use them for combat tactic. Or just to activate one unit. We'll see. So here's my thoughts. I would love to activate these purple guys. And I could use my 5th Panzer Army to do that, which is not a bad idea. However, I can also use the 5th Panzer Army. And if you look up here, there's a spot right here. If I put the camp group, I'm going to activate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're all going to activate all at once. And I think that is some serious awesome sauce. I can activate both of those divisions at once. And in doing so, that allows me to play their actual cards as combat tactics. And the one thing I like about these Panzer Army cards is that if you do a camp group, you get to activate 2 corps at once. That's the beauty of it. Whereas down here, I'm only activating 1 corps, and I'm not sure. I mean, and then, yeah, so this would be nice because I think I do want to finish this guy off. I also want to go take this, but I don't think I'm going to, yeah. Let's just wait here. I don't have to worry about reinforcements today because we delayed these guys. So they're not going to be reinforcing down here. So we got time, is what I'm trying to say. And let's do this one. We don't have time up here because these guys do have reinforcements coming. So he is on a really crappy spot. So we have him, if I go north like this, we're going to have to cross a river. I don't want to do that. This is a bridge, by the way, and we need to do a bridge check. I rolled a 2. I'm really glad I did that bridge check. Do you know why? Because the Allies blew up that bridge. So this bridge right here, got blown up. Okay, so I gotta be mindful of any other bridges around here. There's a whole buttload of bridges right here. And there's another bridge there, but we're not at any of those. But that bridge blew up, so we can't just glide across there. And that gives us our answer, I think, of what we want to do. So let's look at the situation. If I'm going to play this card, I can actually activate another corps first. I'm going to activate this corps because this is only 2 command points and the other one was 4. So I'm going to activate that one for 2 command points. So we're going to get 2 activations in this impulse. And we're going to activate these guys. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move these 2 down to there and this one to here. And we're going to attack him and try to get him eliminated. This guy can't do anything more than just move across the bridge, but that's good enough for now. If I can get him into a town like this, he exerts zone of control. Okay. I'm not doing anything with this one. So we're going to attack here. This is 7. This is 10 strength to 2. That's 5 to 1 odds. So let's draw a card. And uh-oh, I just drew the 8th corps. Okay, so undetected defender is happening. It may not happen because there's nobody in the reserves. So let me check. I've never had this happen before. I bet undetected defenders in the player aid somewhere. Here it is. If the formation on the Ally command card drawn. Oh. This is a division card. This is not a core card. This is a division card. He either needs to be the 9th Armored or the 101st Airborne. And you can see here he's the 28th. This is not happening. But let's look at the rules anyways, because I don't know what it does. So let's say I would have drawn a core card that matched. If he has less than 4 steps, we check for an undetected allied defender. We look in the reserve box. And then out of contact on the map. And then a reserve or out of contact unit is eligible if the division is the same, or if the core is the same. In the Army, listed from the 21st, so because we delayed the 101st Airborne, nobody would have came anyways, but I was just reading that for fun. So yeah, somebody from the reserves or out of contact. This one might be out of contact. I'd have to look it up. I don't think it is because we're proximate to it. But we don't need to do any of that because this is a division card. It's not a core card. So he's just getting artillery. That's all that's happening. So we're still 5-to-1 odds. Do I want to play a combat card? I needed to decide that before I revealed his card. So it's too late for me to play a combat card. We can do, by the way, 4. 1, 2, 3 for the units, and then one of them has 4 pips. So 4 with a 1 minimum. So here's the 1 minimum. So it's a large attack or 16, 17 attack. We're on the 18th, unfortunately. There's no air power. I don't have the ability to do a large attack. So now we're going to just draw 3 more and see if we can hit them. Well, the first one's blue, so I got to put this whole 1 chit back in. And it is not the 5th Panzer Army, unfortunately. And so we still don't have a hit. So we're drawing 2 more. I got to put this one back in because we drew another blue. And are we greater than 3-to-1? We are. So he got a hit. And 1 more. Are we greater than 5-to-1? We are. So we just did 3 hits to him, but he did hit us as well. Okay, so he cancels 1 hit because he's in a town. The second hit requires him to retreat. And he's going to go this way because it's closest to his retreat direction. And then his third retreat hit requires him to retreat a second time. So he's just going to get to retreat twice. Yeah, I was just checking a few things. So he's going to retreat twice and become dispersed. All right, so we got to take a hit with one of our units. So I'll go ahead and hit him. And I'll move him forward into the town because that allows us to... actually, I got to move all of them into the town. But he's going to have zone of control by being in that town. And we now have the ability to take Edelbrook next turn. Now, we got to check for blown bridges. There's 2 of them here. So we're going to roll for this one first and then this one second. First one. Nothing happens. Second, nothing happens. So both of the bridges remain intact. And they will eventually become German bridges next turn. they're not German bridges yet. They're actually not German bridges yet. When they start their turn there, they will be. Or if they were to cross the bridge, it becomes theirs under control, their control. We didn't kill him. I wanted to kill him, but it was very successful. And in fact, I want to activate that unit again if I somehow can. We're doing well there. Okay, so now I'm going to do this, okay? So that puts us over our limit, and we're gonna do the camp group exactly where I said, there. And I'm gonna just move this guy here to put pressure on this, and this one's gonna go in to get behind him. And then this one here, it's 2 movement points to go out of his zone of control. And then this is 3, and that's 4. So you see what I just did? I just surrounded him, and that's what we want to do. And then this one's going to move 1, 2, and this one's going to move 1, 2. So we're going to go in and have him flanked, although he's in a town, so it doesn't matter. So that's our situation, and it's awesome sauce. Okay, so I'm looking to see if we can do a tactic, and I'm going to do infantry infiltration on this one up here. So he is now considered flanked because he's not in a city, so we can call him flanked. And I'm playing the card that would have activated these orange guys because these orange guys are being activated as part of the camp group. So we got 2 battles going on there, and I especially like how this one's shaping up. I'm sort of nervous about this one, but let's give it a go. I want to do the tank one first. That's the tougher one. He's in the woods. He's a 2-chit minimum. And then here you can see we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 for the elite. And then 5 because of the combat tactic. So we're only going to be able to draw 5 chits. And it's a 2-chit minimum. All right, so here's the 2. He's not in a city. He's not in a town forest. He is in the woods, so damn it. Are we greater than 2 to 1? He's got a strength of 4. We have 4, 7, 9. Yes. So these 2 just cancel out. So I'm going to draw 3 more. I got something stuck to my finger. Okay, so is the attacker elite? We are. There's no green, so we got a hit. Are we greater than 4 to 1? We are not. We're only 2 to 1. So this was a nice one, but it's gone. This is another nice one, also gone. So we just did 1 hit on him, and that's it. The good news is he didn't hit us. Okay, so with the 1 hit, that is less than his number of steps. So if he were to take a hit, he does not lose zone of control. So now we have to do the hold value check, which is that table. So it's 1 for the hold value. That's what this number 1 means here. That's his hold value. It's just not a position. So 1 for the hold value, and then 4 or 2 more for the steps. So he's at 3. And then I need to pull out the sheet for the rest. Okay, are any of the attackers across a river? No. It would have been all the attackers across the river. Is he surrounded? No. Would he lose a step if he retreats? No. Has he already retreated? No. So it's really just that. It's 3 points. So we're going to roll, and if he rolls less than oh, I'm going to lose my camera here. If he rolls a 3 or a less, he actually is going to take a step loss and not retreat, which is actually what I want. But let's see. Oh, he rolled a 4. Not quite enough. Okay, so he's going to retreat to here. And then, of course, we get to go into the vacated hex, so I'm going to do that. And we get to do a 2-step advance if we wanted, but I don't think that does anything for me. I mean, we could advance to there, but in doing so, we lose the zone of control over here. I'm not sure how helpful that is. I mean, I guess now they can see they can take this road down like this, and we gotta be really careful because with me not having any unit at all here, they can do some wonky things. Do I want to keep advancing? A part of me is yes, because there's this 5 victory point spot back here, but I really think that it's going to be hard for me to keep advancing. There's a part of me that wants to keep a unit here. I was really hoping he wouldn't retreat. Oh, this is a tough choice. You know what? I can always move when I activate again next time. So I'm going to leave my tanks. The tanks have to spend a lot of movement points to go through here. 3, in fact. I'm going to leave my tanks where they are. Okay, let's do the other battle. It's a 2 chit minimum for him. And then 1, 2, 3, 1 for the pips is 4, 5, 6, and 1 more for elite is 7. So 7 for us. There's no combat tactics, so let's draw for his card. Did I forget to draw a card for him? I think I did. What was his combat tactic? If I did, it would have been artillery. Oh, okay, here's the card he would have had. So he would have had air power. So thankfully the battle doesn't change. So now for this guy, it's First Army. This is going to be bad. The undetected defender is triggering because of this. I just gotta figure out how. He's in the army listed on the army command with preference to a unit in the same division. Okay, so he's in this green army here. Oh, how do I know if that's First Army or not? Is it really just you have to match the colors? So is that First Army colors? I'm assuming so. What other colors are there? See, like this is 21st, that's Army group. Here's Third Army. Third Army is Patton. And you can see they have like a yellowish hint to them. You know what? That's what these guys are. This would be Third Army. These guys down here. So yeah, this is a First Army. So he's going to get a unit to reinforce him. He is here, and there is this one. So now there's, bam, out of nowhere, there's 2 units. And that's what happens. He doesn't get a combat tactic, but he gets another unit. So that sucks. Out of all the times to get it, we get it right here. But 2, 5 is 7, 10, 13, 14 to 6. So we're only going to get 2-to-1 advantage here. That sucks even more because it was 14 to 3, which would have been 4-to-1. Now it's a minimum of 4 that we're drawing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, is he in a city or a forest? He's in a forest, so he's already canceling a hit. This one's out. This one's out. And this one's out. He's canceling a hit. He's in a town that's going to cancel another hit. I'm going to withdraw. I'm not going to take a risk. We got him surrounded. So he can neener all he wants. We're going to make him lose supply. And now there's 2 units there, so we're just going to make 2 units lose supply. I am at an hour, so I will quit. It is getting late, but I'm having a blast right now. Until you guys tell me how many things I did wrong, then I won't be having a blast anymore. But I'm just really into it right now, and I think there's some things going our way, and there's other things not going our way. And I hope that if you're watching, you can see the tension of not sure if we're winning or not winning right now. And trust me, with this deployment method B and all this other stuff that just got turned on, you haven't seen how the Allies can just swarm the map. And when you think that you got smooth sailing to take La Roche and Manhay, forget about it. They're going to they'll plop in, and then it'll be a slugfest just to make 2 inches. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to quit now because we're at an hour. And then we'll come back and do the Allied turn. And thank you for watching. Stay awesome. I'm going to draw 3 cards right now before we quit and show them to you. And we got 3 division cards. So that's going to be our lineup. We'll see you soon.